Chapter 9 of Where No Party Has Gone Before. Kirk paced back and forth in front of the Talon. The five were in a room in one of the little levels in Caroline. The four participants of the brawl and the punch bowl having been brought in from the holding cells in the rarely used dungeon as best they could, considering various scrapes Paul had died only moments before. Kirk crossed his hands behind his back. Well, this was not exactly how I wanted the time before my meeting with Celestia to go. He spun to face the engineer. Your own words, Commander Scott. What happened? Well, Captain, the United the punch bowl all right. He has its links. The Klingons had the links. Kids, but nothing really came of it. He's right. For the most part, it was rather nice. Certainly had worse times in the park, I tell you that. Like Station K7, Mr. Scott? Sky grinned. I lost all that. Sky. Punch bowl. Sky, Kenan and I were about to toast each other. A genuine toast, but before I could drink, those blasted beasts came bursting in. His eyes blazed, he raised Glenn's hands. And I took Kirk's jaw canted slightly. You didn't get to finish your drink. I see, Mr. Scott. So the Yaks came in. Sky nodded. Aye, sir. And those runners of yielded belly punts, the very last who ran the pub, confronted it, and these that lights up with the reports I received. Miss Punch was quite adamant that the Yanks in these. Pause for a moment. Oliver, I'm afraid I'll have to confine you to quarters for one day, although I won't put anything into anyone's permanent record. Since none of you were on duty at the time, and your actions were in defense of Mr. Chekhov, though, only one not involved in the altercation, was his slightly, only because he was passed out at the bar. Her head turning glared at Marissa Sinclair. I'm your record, Lieutenant, if you wish. Marissa straightened to attention. No, sir, she said, swallowing. Kirk nodded, smiling. He waited for another turn, began walking out before speaking. Sky, wait a moment. Sky stopped. He stepped back from the others and walked back to Kirk. I got the. Kirk waited for the others to leave the room before speaking. Sky, while you were speaking with Kellett at the moment, do you remember? Sky's brow furrowed, but his chin stared at the wall. Yes, sir. Yeah, aside from one place, but we were getting along rather well. He smiled rather broadly. I must admit, it wasn't too bad. Smell felt good. Kirk leaned in a bit close. There's something I've noticed among the crew and Klingons. We seem to be interested in discussing at Twilight's Castle voices. He waved Sky off. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Dismiss. Although, as before, for the moment, you are confined to quarters. Right by me, sir. I got some brand new technical manuals to catch up on. And with that, he walked out. The thing is about those brand new technical manuals, he probably wrote half of them. Looking at those just to make some minor corrections. And for the ones he's didn't write, he's laughing at their mistakes and is thinking about rewriting. Me fans, okay? Cake said fried Caleb, Worf, and Tarkus. He has clasped. I must say, I was not expecting to find the three of you here in the dungeons after a brawl in the bar. Most surprising. Kellett stared straight ahead. Captain, I take full responsibility for the incident at the punch bowl. As ranking officer, I am the one. King held up a hand. Silence you see friends in the air. He reached into a pocket on his vest and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I received a letter from the proprietress of the punch bowl when I arrived. She's in all five lies with the honor of her. I impressed with you three that you stood up for Miss Punch and aided her against those Habata. Kellett faced Captain. Wolf, Tarkus, report back to the class pride. Resume your duty stations and tell tall tales of your epic encounter with the a moment longer. He waited for Worf and Tarkus to exit before stepping up to Chief Engineer. Kellett, at this bar, before the Yaks arrived, back to the Enterprise crew. Kellett's eyes rolled up slightly as he stroked his beard in thought. Well, we had a tense moment or two. Mr. Scott and I almost got into an argument. This is the fused intentions. He barked a laugh. Ha ha! She did it! I'm not sure we could have refused if we wanted to. Wow. Of course, it's faster than being offered a drink. Thank you, Mister. The smile fell as it quickly appeared. You Kirk and I have some things to discuss. Twilight paced back and forth. He stood in front of Twilight's head, bubbled up and down as he spoke. I can't believe this. You two were supposed to be having a nice time at the Punch Bowl, not tearing the place down. So he stopped. What do you have to say for you? With his ears folded against her skull. What? Stop shouting. Twilight. Jeez, you're loud enough to be heard to tire us. I was sorry, Ethan. So we were having a pretty good time when they burst in. It was the right barbarian. Didn't do anything. Everyone would have been neither. Twilight turned to her. Well, okay. Talking to them first? Glance a glance, before directing a wondering stare at Twilight. Why, old Caleb did, Elptex played a hoof in the middle of his chest and tried to retrieve his ribcage in. Ravendash nodded sorry. Yeah, come on, Twilight. We didn't start anything. And if we did do anything, the punch bowl would have got wrecked. What gives? Twilight opened her mouth and dropped. I really sorry, you two. She let out a groan, stretching her wings out, cracked her back. Whole thing's got me so tense. Never really been nothing really bad. It's one thing for people for the next house or town, or even star system. Multiple star systems. There's also what Sunset Cimarron. Ugh! Is it this afternoon yet? Anyways, twice once. I hope I'm not disturbing anything. She said, peeking in. Twice shook her head and waved her wing in. Oh, no. She waved for Berry Wing. Are you all right? How's the punch bowl? Is Ruby Pits all right? Or that pudding in Twilight's mouth? Thank you. The punch bowl will be closed for maybe a month due to the damage. Ruby was at school, and Ponay was at Main Street. Thank you for asking. She went to Applejack and Reba to ask. And to you two, thank you so much for what you did. Things would have gotten a lot worse if you and the others hadn't stopped those yaks. Drinks are in the house for you two for the rest of your life. You turned to Sarah. What? Glad you're all right. Applejack patted her head. What's the blast, Bear? If you need any help with the prayers, just ask. She removed her huff from her mouth. I will, King. I told him the same thing I told you. Twilight glanced. I think I could talk to the other Princess Celestia this afternoon. And I got a meeting of my own 10, too. I'll make sure they're aware. If I stick a cupcake in my eye. Celestia sat around the table in the conference room 3, Camelot Castle, quietly sipping some tea and eating cake. Winter was asleep. Keyes was dealing with matters of the Crystal Empire. The Twilight had. This should be interesting and fun. 2 communicators, one for the Enterprise and one for Kanata's Pride, were placed in front of her. She glanced at the clock on the wall, knowing the second. In 4, 3, 2. Both communicators beeped. Celestia's horn glowed as he delicately twisted a knob on each of them. Hello, this is Princess Celestia. One at a time, please. Enterprise first. Laura's came over and stood attached to it. Your Highness, Captain Kirk is ready and standing by to beam on over to your location. Over. A few seconds later, a male voice came over the Klingon communicator. Captain Kang also stands by to transport your command, Princess. Thank you. Send him down any time. 2 columns of light appeared, quickly resolving themselves into Captain Kirk and Kang. 2 oriented themselves before saluting to Celestia. Your Highness, Kirk said, bowing. Kang, meanwhile, thumped his chest at a Klingon salute. 2 chairs slid away from the table. Good to see you, Celestia said, smiling as he sat down. She folded over the cups and saucers to them. Now, before we talk about the official bulletin points, there's the matter of a little incident at the Punch Bowl. She held a hoof. I've read testimony from the patrons there, and Barry Punch herself. I know she's written letters to you both. I don't hold them in any way responsible for the destruction caused. I do personally thank them for their heroism. As for the yaks, they're in the dozens at the moment. I sent a letter to Prince Rutherford, leave till I hear from him before dealing with the yaks. I'm relieved to hear that, Princess. I felt the same way, and I'll make arrangements for them to meet you. Kirk hesitated. I didn't put anything on their permanent record. I'll fight to the quarters pending the outcome of this meeting. I'll have them released over that and arrange to have them meet you. He leaned forward. Princess, there's been a discovery at the rock farm. Celestia took a sip of her tea and a bite of her cake. He spoke. Where's it come from? Celestia pointed to the floor. There's a small subspace leak, for lack of a better term, near the core of the crystal. It's not forming. The lithium crystal grows, and it's denying limited supply of power. Kirk waved a hand in the air. Jesus, everything. The lithium crystals are one of the most, if not, you have them growing out of the ground. The implications are beyond enormous.
K9, Kirk speaks the truth. When this gets out, planets in 2 quadrants of the galaxy, it'll be quite dangerous.
I do thank you both for your concern, showing things a bit. However, it won't nearly be as dangerous as you think. Her horn glowed once more. Every object in the room, barring Celestia, Kirk, and Kang, and the cheers they floated up. They spread about a period. I control the sun, and Luna controls them to attack our planet. We'll be in for a very short and unpleasant surprise. She focused on Kang. As you know, it would be unwise to challenge us. If pressed, we could become more forceful.
Kang nodded. Mara didn't know you could unleash a shiny fleet, or Luna could use the moon itself as an unstoppable. You're well defended, Princess.
I know that I will protect this planet and all who live. A sensible outlook, Your Highness. However, it might not stop those who are desperate enough. Iridium crystals can change the balance of power in the galaxy. It's a good thing we've got you two negotiating on behalf of your governments. I have full faith you two will be able to convince them of the follies. And instead, both governments working with us as
friends, Princess, I highly doubt to occur.
Kirk stood to a bit of seat. I don't think Princess will ever see eye to eye. Give it a few years. So cooperate and drive away after it had every advantage over you. Yet you still put aside your differences and laughed it off for you to succumb to your hatred. Instead, you both managed to slip before it consumed you all. If you could manage to stop fighting under such circumstances, then it's within the realm of possibility for your governments to do the hostilities.
Kang waved her off. Prize are far different to those we are currently in. They have real and reasonable plans, and Klingon Empire would be difficult, to say the least.
Celestia stared at him, expressing neutral, Captain Kang. I said it would be right. It's almost never the easiest thing to be done. At one time, I wish our Discord be gone forever. To be dead or locked away in our Tartarus for all eternity. No chance. And although it went roughly and more not enemies, someday we might even be friends. I've lived a long time and seen many things that were once deemed difficult or impossible happen.
Kang met Celestia's stare with one of his own. What may happen in the future has no bearing on my mission here. I was sent by the High Council to secure allegiance. Within the bounds of my honor, I shall do so.
Glanced at Kirk.
Just as Captain Cook shall do his best.
Celestia, however, this is a zero-sum game. That we can only ally with either the Federal Region or the Empire. I believe that a third option is available, where we ally with both governments and open diplomatic and trade trails with you. Gwendep shock hit to the right. None of us have any real choice in the matter, Princess.
Kang crossed his arms. I suppose you're right. Neither of us have much of a choice, Kirk. What is it?
Celestia caught her host again. I just floated up over to Kirk and Kang, and I did in front of them and opened up. Let's get down to the business of business, captains. Thanks to Starling, Sun Tzu, and Talon 4 for pre-reading and help. Before I move on to the next chapter, I want to point out 2 comments I saw. Celestia was a pushover only in canon, and where it was talking about Equestria's defense capabilities and offense capabilities, like it's stating. You see, once again, this is one of those and show writing and limitations of what you're trying to set up. Now, the example that they tried to use was in the movie and a few other segments. In the movie, with some sort of special stone spell. And even in the comics, Tempest Shadow herself said, I had to take them out first, quickly as possible, with a special spell. And of course, with Chrysalis, he's already said he had a mega power boost from Shining Armor's love energy. Are something that you can easily infer from the show itself, and of course, it's things that apply to the Warp effect. However, this is one of the things people like the below like those two commenters, will allow canon and allow what happens in the show to Star Trek and Worf. Does Celestia and Luna go under? What are they filed under? That was titled after he exemplifies the Worf effect, wherein the two powerful bad out at the first point in order to, one, establish the toughness of the bad guy, and two, to make sure that this is not over in 5 seconds. Because sadly, we can't offer to allow the main ones that we're interested in or to allow the themes of the story to go through. Why? Because in the show, we only have 40 to 20 minutes. Oh sure, it'd be easy enough to say, I would just push this guy aside. Nice theory, but won't really work. Because even the fan base that ask, well, why isn't he here? Because I just put them aside. That's a narrative excuse. Really, with some people you just can't there. Oh, you knock them out, fans complaining. But however, let what canon shows you say, oh, well, this does sounds. Because if we were all by canon, we would say that Worf could get his butt handled. Well, we know that's not true. We know Worf is a competent fighter, and we know he's a badass, and we know he's tough. So, yeah. Any other time, he's a badass. However, the show has to write the alien and take him out in the first round. Because what? Just like Celestia and Luna. We know they're badasses. We know if they weren't taken out in the first round by a surprise attack, or, taken out while they weren't looking, they could win. We know they could be awesome up close and personal if they weren't taken out in the first round by a surprise attack. Like, say, a stone spell. And seriously, have you been hit with a petrification spell in a D&D campaign? Not exactly easy to get it struck off. However, these things have to happen for plots. Sucks, I know. Because then you have comments like that, and it gets annoying! Because then there are people like me who point out, well, this doesn't really work for the character or the confines, and then you get the people who complain and then write city fanfics. Not like this stuff. Chapter 10. Twice in front of the horn glowed, and the book she used to communicate with Sunset. It flashed. The machinery chugged and moved. Swirling vortex inside the mirror, Twilight lifts back Spike, standing right behind her. I told about this. No, Spike. Okay, Twilight, but he hesitated. Oh, hey, Sax. Twilight stepped up to him. Are you alright? She cracked a smile. I thought you'd be relieved I took so many precautions this time around. Spike snorted. Okay, sorry about Hell's Arms. I don't know. I had to see it for yourself in her letter. That's how a bad blood for Twilight to do you trust her? She looked back at the park. With that, as before, the transition from that. I sucked in a breath and tried to. As before, the transition from request to Caroline High from Pony to Human was near instantaneous. She walked through the mirror and emerged from the statue in front of Caroline High, barely breaking stride or even stumbling as she walked across the concrete. Twilight took a moment to marvel at being bipedal and upright. She looked at her lanky arms and fingers over, wiggling them. A sound from her left broke her out of her reverie. She looked over to her right, spying Sunset Simmer and Trixie? Sunset and Trixie stood next to each other, the former wearing a rather bulky trench coat, while the latter stood up behind Sunset, glancing at the asphalt. Sunset raised her arm and waved at Twilight. Hey, Twilight, good to see you. She must to Trixie, and I see you spy Trixie. Trixie slowly took a step forward. Her head tilted up, but eyes were still on the pavement. Twilight Sparkle, Princess Sparkle, Trixie is. She sucked in her breath. I'm sorry for my actions last time you were here. They were wrong and could have injured you and the others. She held out her hand. Friends, please. Sunset reached out and patted Trixie on the shoulder, squeezing lightly. Like I told you, Trixie, everyone in the school is under the siren spell. Her eyes went up to Twilight. Hey, you okay? Twilight blinked. What? Oh, sorry. She focused on Trixie. Her own expression softened.
I managed to forgive far worse people out there. Nancy was mind control. It wasn't really your fault. Sunset's right, Trixie. You were in your right mind then. No one was. I mean, in the stage pit, Brandy and Applejack were about ready to tear each other's heads off. She took Trixie's proffered hand and shook it. Friends. Trixie grinned and tightened her grit slightly. Thank you. She turned her head to Sunset. You were right about her. I should have listened. Twilight followed Trixie's gaze. Sunset, why are you wearing a trench coat? Sunset, she's colored. I'll explain in a bit. In the meantime, we got something to show you. She turned and knelt down and picked up a briefcase behind her. Trixie, ask away. Trixie let go of Twilight's hand. She suddenly reached up, grabbed her shoulders, and stared as eyes wide slightly. Twilight, is there a Constitution-class heavy cruiser in orbit of your planet named the USS Enterprise, serial numbers NCC-1701? Twilight stared right back at Trixie. Her jaw opened, but it was almost a minute before she could speak. How did you know all that? Trixie paid her question no mind. And is the captain of the Enterprise, one James Tiberius Kirk from Riverside, Iowa. Is the first officer, one Spock from Vulcan. Is the chief engineer Scotty, and are his engines able to take it anymore? Twilight's eyes somehow widened even more. She slowly broke her gaze away from Trixie and looked at Sunset. Sunset walked up to the two. She held the suitcase and clicked it open. Inside was a laptop and a slim yellow case made of plastic. These hold the answers you seek, Twilight. She lowered herself to the ground and leaned against the statue's base. She powered the laptop up and opened the case up. Twilight and Trixie exchanged a glance, then down on the other side of Sunset. Twilight looked at Sunset from across Trixie. So, how do you know so much about... Trixie half smiled. Sunset and her friends have filled me in on everything. We've all managed to make up. Tia and I even did the entertainment for a birthday party last week. She looked at Sunset and held up a DVD. How much do you know about our technology? Twilight waved her off. Oh, I know all about computers and your information storage disk. We watched a lot of them last time I was here for sleepovers, and before when I slept at the school's library. She paused as she looked at the DVD case. A bit of chrome caught her eye. She jabbed her finger at it. Hey, wait a minute! That's the Enterprise's command symbol! Sunset and Trixie exchanged a look. Sunset turned to her right in Twilight. Twilight, brace yourself. You're about to have your mind blown. She slipped the DVD into a slot on the laptop's monitor. The screen came to life, and a fanfare came from the speakers. This majestic, despite the size and quality of the built-in audio equipment. Twilight rubbed her chin. I don't... She sucked in her breath as a very familiar-looking starship came on the screen. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! That's the Enterprise! It was just like the image Captain Kirk showed me. She grabbed Sunset's shoulder and shook her. Sunset, how did you get footage of the Enterprise? Sunset reached up, grabbed Twilight's arm and started shaking. Twilight, calm down. This isn't footage of the real Enterprise. She suddenly turned to Trixie, and the two giggled for a bit before Sunset looked back to Twilight. She bit her lip and cleared her throat before continuing. It's a ball, though. She looked back to Trixie. Does she have the Blu-ray edition? Trixie scratched the back of her head. Sorry, I was a bit rushed getting hers until it was too late to get back home and get it. Twilight spoke up. Okay, that's it. She stood up across her arms. Would you two please tell me what the hey is going on here? Sunset struck down silently. Sorry, Twilight. Got carried away. She motioned to Trixie, who stood up. Trixie's the best one to fill you in. She got me into this after all. Trixie's a Trekkie? That is so awesome! Trixie walked around Sunset to Twilight. Alright, Twilight. I'll try to explain this the best as succinctly as I can. Please keep any questions to a minimum, alright? Twilight's nods, he resumed speaking. In the 1960s, a man by the name Gene Roddenberry was trying to create a television show and get it on the air. She held her arm up and waved a hand across the air. A wagon turning to the stars, as he called it. It took a few tries, and eventually, on September 8th, 1966, Star Trek premiered. Sunset finally stood up and walked over to the two. The show lasted for 3 years. She sighed and shook her head. I always wondered what a proper series finale to that show would have been. It's called Star Trek VI, Sunset! What? It makes sense. Ties up all the themes. Gives everybody a good send-off. Finishes off a good plot. It's a pretty dang good movie. And it's way better than that last episode. Trixie waved Sunset off. You and I both know not to bring that up, especially around my parents. She cleared her throat, looked back at Twilight, smiling. The show was, as you probably figured out, about the Starship Enterprise and its crew. That's the show we had on DVD there. It ended in 1969, but the franchise itself didn't. In 1973, they made an animated series that lasted from 1973 to 1974. Then there were the movies. Ah, yes. Sunset held up a hand. I think that's enough now, Trixie. I don't think we should get into the Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, or the reboot movies. At least not now. From what Twilight described and how she reacted to the footage, it's the 5-year mission itself. Twilight nodded. Yeah, she trailed off. This is insane. She turned and began to back piece and forth, 5 steps away to one the other. I mean, from what you've told me, what I've just seen, the Enterprise, the crew, the entire Federation, the Klingon Empire, they're all fictional here. Does that mean I'm fictional too? She stopped pacing, looked over at Sunset and Trixie. What about our planet? My friends? My family? Trixie said, looked to Sunset. Should we bring up parallels? Sunset waved her off. She walked over to Twilight and gently grabbed her up her arms. Twilight, as soon as I got your letter about this, I thought the same thing. I checked and double-checked. There's no media even coming close to resembling Equestria. Although, Twilight, somewhere out there in the multiverse, in some dimension, our lives are being played out by actors and actresses. There's nothing really wrong with that. As one famous playwright put it, all the world's a stage, and the people merely players. Twilight let out breath. Well, okay. Still a little weird. Trixie tried. I'd be worried if you didn't find it weird. But Twilight said that loud. Thank you, both of you, for explaining this. Sunset nodded, but her expression fell. I've gotta admit, I'd be able to go back with you, Twilight. Star Trek is probably my favorite form of entertainment here. The optimism, the hope for a better future, just appeals to my inner equestrian. Trixie, I and some of the other marathon episodes of the show, the idea of meeting Kirk, Bones, Spock, and the others, or even getting a glimpse of Enterprise, makes my mouth water. Twilight rubbed her chin. Well, why don't you? I mean, you are from Equestria, right? I stabilized the portal so it could be open any time. She turned her head. Trixie, you could come over too. Well, maybe not immediately. I think there's some stuff we had to sort out. But after that, you could definitely join us. Trixie jumped up and down. Oh, you mean it, Twilight? A happy Trixie is a good Trixie. Still, does this mean that human Trixie is also my boss? No, definitely not. Okay, thanks, Trix. Twilight nodded. She sucked in her breath. Thank you. She wrapped her arms around Sunset's shoulders in a hug. Sunset, we're gonna meet Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock and Bones and everyone! Sunset stood still. She glanced away from Twilight and seemed to focus on a spot on the sidewalk. That's great for you, Trixie, but I don't think I can go back. Trixie's eyes widened and her arms fell to her side. She and Twilight stared at Sunset for a few seconds before Trixie spoke. Sunset, are you crazy? She grabbed Sunset by the shoulders, and in a tug spun her around to face her. This is the biggest opportunity any Terrority has ever had. You cannot not go! She looked at Twilight. Come on, is you a royal decree or something? Twilight glanced at Trixie. It doesn't really work that way. She leaned in close to Sunset and placed a hand on her shoulder. Sunset, what's wrong? Why don't you think you can? She groaned and rubbed the bridge of her nose. Let me guess. And pardon me for being blunt, but are you still feeling guilt about how you left in the first place? Sunset's cheeks flushed red. She walked around for under two, head down, hands slid in her pockets of her trench coat. Twilight, I was a self-entitled brat, to put it mildly. I drove away my family, any possible friends I might have had, and in the end, Princess Celestia herself. All for some damn stupid bid for power that nearly cost me everything. It still probably cost me a lot that I can't get back. Twilight ran over. No, Sunset! Celestia won't be mad at you. She come back with you with open arms. No, forearms. She shook her head. Doesn't matter. Your family will welcome you back too. You have to come back with me. Trixie spoke up. She's right, Sunset. Well, I presume she's right about Celestia and your family. But also, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity! She walked around Sunset's front, poked her in her chest. This is something Trixie's have literally dreamed of for 50 years. There's no way I can let a fellow fan pass this up. Even if Twilight and I have to tie you up and toss you through the portal! Sunset stared at Trixie before batting her hand away. Trixie, you don't get it. I didn't just burn some bridges. I torpedoed them with antimatter. Celestia trusted me, taught me, and I spat at her face, betrayed her. I pushed away my family, drove them off. Mom and Dad were so proud of me when Celestia took me on as her student. And I just... She screwed her eyes shut, her voice falling over. Twilight slowly reached up and placed a hand on Sunset's shoulder. When Sunset didn't flinch or pulled away, she spoke. Sunset, Princess Celestia won't be like that. She asked how you were, what happened. You and I both know she doesn't hold any grudges. Some smile played at the corner of her lips. I mean, she managed to forgive Discord of all things. Trixie's brow furrowed slightly. I'll ask later. Sunset slowly turned to look at the statue in the portal within. I really do want to. Not just to meet the crew of the Enterprise, but also make amends with Celestia and my family. The risk of rejection would... Risk! Trixie blurted out, catching Twilight and Sunset's attention. She abruptly raised her hands and curled her fingers. Do you wish you have never risking to Star Trek? Or took the risk of sinking to the feet of the Sirens? You probably wish we were still using Laserdisc to watch Star Trek. Or that Gene himself never took the risk on the wagon train to the stars. She held her right hand up and looked to the sky. Risk is our business. Trixie, now's not the time to start using quotes from Star Trek. Twilight Sunset stared at her. Trixie is right. Twilight finally said, yes, it's a risk, but everything is, Sunset. Besides, you won't be alone. I'll be here with you if you want me to. And I'll be here too, Trixie said. Well, eventually. She glanced at Twilight. They're still on, right? Twilight rolled her eyes. Yes, Trixie. Sunset chuckled slightly. Don't be too harsh on Trixie. She's right when she says this is something people have literally dreamed of. She sucked in her bread. Okay, I'm going to do it. Just, Twilight, could you... She grabbed the lapels of her trench coat, fingers sinking into it. Could you please not immediately tell Princess Celestia about this? I do want to see her, but I don't want to be surprised or have it massively awkward. It's going to be awkward enough as is. Twilight nodded. Well, tell us all. Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye. Her head bobbed up and down. Sunset, pardon me for the odd question, but why are you wearing a trench coat? Sunset looked herself over. Oh, sorry! She undid the belt in her waist and unbuttoned the front. Boing! Thank you. With an almost theatrical flourish, she opened the trench coat wide and striked it off, letting it fall to the ground. Underneath, Sunset wore a red, long-sleeved dress that went down just below her thigh, and black half-high boots. I'm intrigued, thank you. Gold embroidery wrapped around her wrists. The Starfleet symbol was expertly stitched onto her left breast. A satchel was slung over her left shoulder, and a belt with a toy phaser and communicator completed the look. She waved her hands over the dress. Like it? Rarity made it for me for Halloween, the local version of Nightmare Night. Twilight looks Sunset up and down. Looks just like a Lieutenant Aurora wears! Sunset and Trixie exchange a glance. Sunset patted Trixie on the shoulder. Okay, Trixie. I'll call you back later tonight and let you know what's going on, okay? She stepped back and held her right hand up. Fingers spread out a V. Peace and a long life. Trixie returned to salute. Live long and prosper. Her face went blank. I could be doing that with Mr. Spock! She held her fists up together and laughed, cheeks turning to a deep crimson. Sunset looked at Twilight. So, can we go in together? Twilight patted Sunset on the shoulder. Sure thing, Sunset. She led Sunset to the base of the statue. On 3, as Sunset's shaking nod, she started counting. 1, 2. She stepped through, disappearing from Caroline High. Sunset paused for a moment.
She turned, winked to Trixie, then followed Twilight back to Equestria. Spike sat in front of the portal, pulling his comic up in front of him. Zapped him so once more. First says from the outside the door. Oh, hey guys, what's up? Kirk nodded to Spike and smiled. I have some news concerning the duel with Prince Blueblood tomorrow afternoon. He started to kneel. Spike nodded, holding his already working tricorder up. Already scanning, Captain. He waved the tricorder over the portal, laying it linked over the turtle nested at the top. Fascinating. It is an interesting for the pathway to follow. He looked to Spike. I presume Princess Sparkle is on the other side of the gateway. Clark slowly walked over to the gateway, Spike following close behind. Twilight did mention a friend. He knelt up to Spike and waved a hand. Is this what he was referring to, Spike? Spike nodded. Yeah! That friend, Sunset Simmer, has a book that connects that book. It's hooked up to the gizmo Twilight built around the mirror. And only for 3 days. But for Pinkie Pie, we have to figure out a way to use the books to connect the worlds that anytime she needs to. Clark looked the entire device over. I shudder to think what she would do. She got her hands dirty. She could be the next Isaac Newton. Nah, not dark enough. Spike's like, do you really smart people? And Kirk's like, Twilight for you. He crazed his claws over his belly. Blue blood? What's going on with that? I down to Spike. I'd like to come in, so I won't have to repeat myself. Still, it's rather short. We'll duel downtown in Ponyville at Main Street. Place his hand on his chest. And Blue blood will have a magic inhibition spell placed on him. A temporary spell, one of course. Spike slowly nodded. Hit the hoof. He puts the air. You kick his flank, Captain! Spike turned his tricorder off. Although the odds will be in Captain Kirk's favor, it would have been preferable for the duel to not take place at all. His head tilted up. Captain, I have taken multiple readings. However, it will take the Enterprise's computer to fully analyze the information. I believe it would be wise for Science Officer Amara to be present. Kirk glanced up at his first officer. Of course, Spock. Make the necessary arrangements with the Prime. Look down at Spike. Spock is right, Spock. He gestured with his right hand, waving about in the air. Sometimes we have to fight, but it should only be as a last resort. When every other venue has been exhausted, then we'll fight. As I once told Anon 7, we may be killers, but we can choose not to kill today. We can make that choice, Spike, and it's the right one. Spike slowly nodded. I get it, Captain. Same here in Equestria. More like fun to give fun and friendship to the fight, right? Stay straight. Spike raised an eyebrow. A most logical line of reasoning, Spike. It is one I wholeheartedly concur with. The portal behind them flashed, and all 3 turned as Twilight Sparkle galloped to the portal. She quickly slowed to a trot and stopped. She looked herself over, wings spraying out. Well, back to being a pony. She smiled as Spike ran over and hugged her, returning her with her wings. Hi, Spike. Twilight smiled broad as he noticed Kirk and Spock. Oh, hi! What brings you here? The brightness increased. Spike held his tricorder up and snapped it open once more. There's an ink voice rising. Kirk held his head himself to Sister Spike. A loud buzzing came from the portal Sunset emerged. Twilight sword flashed, and the portal winked down and stood there, still clad in her down and forced for equine body. The portal on Sunset, her paws pressed tightly against her body. She gasped as realized, Sunset! You're an alicorn! So at the same time, both blades flared out, right one smacking Twilight in the face and sending her reeling back. She sucked in a breath as her left wing extended, stopping halfway from fully unfurling. She glanced aside as Spot raised his tricorder, but Kirk held up a hand. stopping him from doing anything, or saying anything at the moment. World for the time being. Twilight's horn lit up again. Then, purple tendrils of magic shot through it, wound their way around Sunset's body. But, you ascended! Sunset rolled her eyes. I would have guessed it might be these fast these things! She spun around grunting. Come on! Twilight's horn glowed and Sunset started spinning. It took me a month or so to get used to the sunset. No rest. The tendrils retreated back to her horn. My guess is this happened when you defeated the sirens and ran to hug. Sunset glanced away, blessed. Then push Twilight away. Thanks. Oh, heads up, she spotted Spike. Spike! She slipped away from Twilight, went up to the dragon. Gotta miss Spike. He's a lot better than like this. Spike ran a hand for Crest and smiled. Thanks, Sunset. What cooler than being a dragon than a dog? He almost mouth of smoke out, fire shot out. Or maybe a lot hotter. Sunset bit back and laughed. She turned to Twilight, noticed Kirk and Spock, steady. Eyes widened. Ladies and gentlemen, how most tragedies would probably back to Sunset. Her expression fell. I have apologies. Or perhaps, Princess Simmer, I didn't want to interrupt things. Sunset continued to stare at Kirk and Spock. See how they were right for like, Spock held his right hand. Fingers went out, flung a salute. Live long. Sunset mouth turned into a grin that nearly reached her ear. She whispered, You're welcome, but for what, Miss Simmer? Sunset swallowed. He's still in the air. Grimace shook it several times. Sunset? I don't think you can do the Falcon salute with a huff. Sunset's head shot around, glared at Twilight. She looked back to her foreleg. Please? Spike went to Twilight's side, eyes on Sunset the entire time. Twilight, what's with Sunset? Twilight sat the floor with her huff. It's a long story. Kirk went to Twilight. Twilight, if this was a bad place to stand, says, I didn't mean to cause distress to Miss Simmer. Inform you about. Thanks, Captain. It's a little complicated, but. Sunset's wings unfolded. Split, damn you! Split! Well, you can always cast Bigby's hand. She shouted her foreleg. Let out a low-keying sound. I can do this! She shouted. Her breath hit her throat. Silence permeated the room for a moment. Spike slapped his forehead and danged his claws across his face. Twilight, meanwhile, let out a breath. Well, witness one of these. She looked up to Kirk and Spock. A smile plastered on her face. Sorry about the Selman. Like I told Spike, it's a bit of a long story. Special thanks to Talent Authority for Gerald Proofreading and Yang Zen and M.E. Lovecoat for Hunt with Sunsets and Bullsound for a helpless Sunset's attempt at the Pony's Falcon Salute.